Good morning, Megan. How's it going? Yeah, it's warmer out there than I expected it to be this morning.
Yeah, it's still a little breeze, but it's not as cold as it's been.
Yeah. Mm. Oh. I'm sitting here thinking of planning what we're gonna do, because we're gonna talk about works cited first, and then we're gonna review for apostrophe. Do you still have the pages for apostrophe? Hopefully you do. I mean, it's one of those deals. Good morning, Abernathy. We missed y'all Monday. We missed a thrilling class. That's sarcasm on my part. I taught it in, 35 minutes? Would you believe by the time I finished teaching it yesterday, it took me 45. That's kind of crazy. So, what we're gonna talk about today is how to cite, or how to create a works cited. So you have to have research done. So what I've been in here doing is, I found some articles, I got 3 from opposing viewpoints, and the reason why I push SVC is because you have access to the correct citations when you use the databases. Otherwise, it becomes an issue on how you cite it. So I found 3 articles from opposing viewpoints, and then I got 1 from EBSCO, again, kind of to show you what to do. And then I went out and just typed in the topic and found a website. And citing the website is so much harder than using these databases, okay? So, so what I'm gonna do is, I guess I will start off with the EBSCO source, all right? And the topic I chose was one that nobody in this group is doing. It's from somebody in my Tuesday, Thursday class. It's only one person, so I didn't want to help out a bunch of people by doing their topics. You know, you're like, oh, give us that. So I typed in the terms fast fashion, which is not something I'd heard of until the student told me they wanted to write on it. So I thought it was kind of cool. So I typed in fast fashion into EBSCO, and let me take this back one step. And here's the article, The Global Environmental Injustice of Fast Fashion. So I thought that was a great title. So I opened up the PDF, and here it is. And the nice thing about EBSCO is that you have this beautiful copy, just like it was in the journal or periodical or magazine. Periodicals is a catch-all term for anything that's published every so often. Newspapers are periodicals. Magazines, any kind of magazines, whether it's published weekly or bi-weekly or monthly, or there's quite a few journals, particularly scholarly ones, that are only published quarterly. So this is a way to do it. But when I have this, I don't have access to the citation, not on the document. When you're talking EBSCO, which is Academic Search Complete. So I have to go over here to this little menu on the side, and I can see underneath the one that's a file folder, I can see a piece of yellow paper that says Cite. What's that? Permalink. No, I don't want to do that. Take that off. I want to come over here and I want to do Cite. So this is where we ran wrong on our summaries. We just took the first one that showed up, which happens to be the Brazilian National Standards. You can't do that in EBSCO. You have to scroll down until you see MLA. And they're working off of the MLA 8th edition, which is, they're into the 9th, but I'm not going to penalize you for using the 8th, because I'm not going to force you to go out and buy the book so you have it. So here it is. I'm just going to click and drag and copy this, and I'm going to put it in a Word document, which I've already done. I've already loaded it in here, and so we can see it's grayed out. That's one of those things that happens when you copy the sites from the website, okay? But that's okay, and it's not even double-spaced. So the first thing I'm going to do right now, on a works cited, it has to be double-spaced, so I'm going to go Control-A. Actually, I'm going to go copy it, and I'm going to cut it. By taking it off the document now, I can put double spacing in, and it should automatically just do it when I load in the thing. So now if I paste it in, it didn't know, but it's coming in single space because I copied it single space. Let's see if it's going to let me do double space. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So I've got it there. I'm not gonna do anything else yet because I've got 3 other sources to work with. And it just so happens that I've saved them all in my file folders. So here's Works Cited, sample Article 1, and this is the nice thing about opposing viewpoints. All you have to do is scroll to the bottom of the article, and you're gonna see, let me make this nice and big. Why do I do that? I keep hitting the wrong thing. That's not a plus sign. So when you're at the bottom of the article, at the end of the article, you see copyright. That's not part of the citation. You see source citation, MLA 9th edition. That's not part of the citation. Citation begins with the author's last name. Some of you decided that that was the author's first name. So you would write in the article such and such by so-and-so, you'd go, Bahatari, Abba, that's wrong. You alphabetize by last names, okay? So be aware of that. So now I'm just gonna copy that, and I'm gonna go back over here, and that's BHA. This is, okay, BICK is alphabetically after BH, correct, when you're alphabetizing, so I'm gonna copy that one in. Okay, and I've got different fonts, so I'm gonna be aware of that, and I'm gonna make sure that I fix my fonts, because I had somebody who had 3 different fonts in their summary, which was interesting, okay? So let me go open up the next one, and I happen to know that the 4th one is that one, time to make fast fashion a problem for its makers. So I'm gonna scroll down again, just so you can see it one more time. Don't give me source citation, just go with the author's name down through, and make sure you catch the period that's at the end of that, okay? Because every citation in the MLA ends with a period. Hold on, let me go back over there. Where is that? Oh, it's over here. And look at the name. It's LIU. So I'm saving myself time by not having to, I'm gonna put it in alphabetical order as I put them together. And I've not had to type anything. Isn't that awesome? There we go. So I accidentally got that in there, so guess what, I'm just gonna get rid of it, okay? Then I'm gonna go down to my last article, and it looks like a mess right now, but that's okay. And I thought some of these were pretty good articles. But I'm not gonna give them to that student, I'll just say that. So let me make sure, see if I can keep away from getting it this time. And normally when you're talking MLA, you get the access date. EBSCO doesn't always give it to you, so. Goofy, I forgot to check the name. It's patent, okay. So I'm gonna come over here, P is gonna come after L, because it's in alphabetical order. And see, that's double space, isn't that crazy? So first thing I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna make everything double space. Okay. And now I'm going to set in the hanging indent. And what may happen, because I'm doing all of these at different times, that it's not gonna hold. So I'm gonna put it on the first one. Remember, you've got that little back over here? You go to special indentation, go to hanging. And I saw that article did it. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do it for every single one, but that's okay. This is still a lot quicker than typing it yourself. Okay? Morning, Zach. Well, okay, that's because this one's copied. I'm gonna have to indent it with the tab. The tab should make it line up with the other one, okay? So if you're working with EBSCO, you may not be able to use some of the shortcuts. You may just have to hit tab to get it across, because you're having to do it a different way. Okay, time. I'd have been smarter if I'd just done it all at once, but hey, that's okay. So actually, it's taken me, about 3 minutes to do this if I weren't talking? So I now have, I'm going to shrink this down so you can see how it looks. When you look at it, you can see everything has the same indent. Not everything is the same font. I don't know if I can change the font, but I'm going to try to change the font on that one that's from EBSCO. Just make it Times New Roman. Yeah, it took it. Okay, so you can change the font. I can see it's gray. I understand what's happened on that one, so it's not a big deal. I'm actually going to make it about 14 point now. And that makes it easier to see. So that's how quickly you can do a works cited. I promise you, back in the day and age where you didn't have access to the computer and everything was already given to you, it would take a couple of hours to do a works cited. Almost longer than some of the papers I wrote. Now, let's talk about how to handle a website, okay? what I've got up here is I have, it's called, What is Fast Fashion and Why is it a Problem? I just Googled the term. That's all I did. And so now I want to cite it. So I'm going to go to Purdue Owl, because they have all kinds of good things in there and I don't have to do as much work. Purdue Owl, MLA. I'm going to go to the MLA guide. And it says cite your source automatically in MLA. So I can do that. I just want to make sure. All these pop-ups drive me crazy, but they're paying for their website, so we don't have to pay for it, so I'm not going to get upset about it. I'm going to click on MLA guide down here, and it's a little bit, gets rid of some of the stuff up at the top. Okay, so formatting and style guide. So here it is. So it says search, it says cite, and it's going, and you've got to can do it by other things. Book, journal, online video. I'm going to do a website, so I'm going to come back over here, and all I have to do is pick up the URL on that website. That doesn't mean it's done. There's still a lot more work to be done. So I copy it in here, and I click cite, and then it's come back and says it needs more information. No, that's not what I wanted. Cite. Okay, hold on, sorry, it's down here. So it's got search, create manual citation, search. Okay, so it is, what is fast fashion, why is it a problem? So now it's going to come back, we're going to do cite. And it also brings up questions about here's what we found, they got the article title. What happened there? Return to site. You got to be careful where your cursor goes in this. And it's going to say, what is fast fashion? It's going to say ethical consumer. It gives you some information. Here's what we'll need your help with, the publisher or the sponsor. It says edit on next step. So I go to continue. And it's going to ask for an author. So when I go back to that article, when I come in here, I'm going to see that there is an author's name, Crumby, Alex Crumby. So I'll go back over here and go, first name is, why am I getting it? Crumby. No suffix. Which one? That one. Okay. Website title, ethical consumer, publisher, sponsor. So what you have to do is you have to scroll, when you're trying to find out information about a website, this is why I'm telling you it's easier to use the databases, even though you think you can't find anything. You scroll down to the bottom of the page, which is all the way down, and a lot of times you're going to see, hopefully, copyright Ethical Consumer Research Associates Limited. So I'm just going to short this, and I'm going to remember that the date is 2021. So I'm going to go back over to that citation, and I loaded it in. And it says electronic published 2nd November 22nd, 2021. More options. I'm going to complete citation. So here it is. How is that for fun? Okay, sort by. So copy citation. Now, next, check your paper. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to come back over to my Word document, and this Crumby was his name, so Crumby's going to come after Bick, and I'm going to load that in there. I didn't paste. Let's see. Paste options. Let's go. There it is. So it's not the right size. So I'm going to have to put double spacing in it, so you're going to have to do some work with it. So that's why that's one of the reasons why it's better not to. Okay. I just need to get it up to the right size, which is 14, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. So now it's in there. And that's the easy way to do it, but I know what I'm looking for. Do y'all understand? I know what I'm looking for. I know where to go find the information. So I'm going to tell you, a blog is not acceptable. I don't care who it is. It's not acceptable. I don't care if it's a blog that's published in the Huffington Post. The Huffington Post is a sensationalist type of publication, so it's not necessarily the best one to do, and so avoid opinion editorials, because somebody used one as their summary, and I graded it, but that's not necessarily the best source to use on something, okay? Okay. and I dropped her out of the class on Monday, so. So that, again, you can see now, so now I have a works cited, and it's done. Not hard, I'm gonna come back up here, I'm gonna hit a return. The only thing I need to do is put the title on it, and that's when I can go to the centering and go works cited, and it's, if you have more than one, it's always gonna be works cited, because that's plural. Works cited means you only have one, and so it's done. And it's right, and I didn't have to do it. So, MLA is a wonderful source, be willing to use it, all right? But if you're having trouble, I had a student yesterday at one of my high schools say, they sent me a quick message during class, and I said, and I had to glance at it before it was over, I need to change my topic, can I do death penalty? I said, you sure can. Because there's a lot of stuff out there. Their topic was just so fuzzy, you know, it wasn't clearly one thing or another. And that's one reason why you've got to watch that. But when you do look at this works cited, I'm going to go back to it, you're going to see that there's some slight differences. So you can see on the first one that there's an access date. You're also going to see that what they didn't do was italicize major things. You have to okay, sorry, let me make it big so you can see. So WashingtonPost.com, that's okay, but Gale in context opposing viewpoints should be italicized. You italicize things that have lots of things in them. It's like Gale in context, it's not really a publisher. You don't use them as the author and as an author tag, okay? You don't say according to Gale, no, that's a database. Remember, there's hundreds of thousands of articles in those, okay? So, but you do need to italicize them. But you're going to see that it ends with access date, access 10 November 2021, and there's a period at the end. So every citation, you need to italicize certain things. I'm not going to be quite so picky about capitalizing all the big words in the titles. That's a lot of extra work. But if you go in and your author's name is all capitalized, you need to change that. Use upper and lowercase just for the first letters and lowercase for the rest. So here on Rachel Bick et al. And a bunch of others, this is the EBSCO one. There's no access date. So you really could stand to do, but you'll notice that it is italicized. Do you pick up on that? It's got environmental health, a global access science source. All you've got to do here is at the end is go access, what happened like a type. Today's the 10 November 2021. And then all I've got to do is come put this and just hit, because that's the one that we copied from EBSCO. So I put the access date. And we need to add that to Crumbie. 10. Okay. It's already on here. It's not on that one. So there's some interesting things going on. Oh, there it is, access. It's in the middle. Gale Opposing Viewpoints Online Collection. Okay, so this has got to be italicized. So they're slightly different. So, you know, it's hard to say. They do not guarantee that they're absolutely right, but I'm not going to get all wacko, okay, if something's in a different spot. And the conversation should also be italicized. So you need to go back through and look for things that are bigger documents. Like a poem is in quotation marks. The book it's published in is italicized. Magazines are italicized. And by the way, you do not italicize the titles of articles. I had somebody who italicized the title of the article and put quotation marks around it. We got to be careful that we don't do too much. Sorry. I just pulled my arm out of the sleeve completely wrong. Okay, we'll fix that later. So here's the last one. You see the access date. So now it's done. And that's all you have to do. And I've spent 16 minutes on it. That's not too bad, is it? Okay. So that's just a quick down and dirty. I don't expect you guys to have, what do I have, 5 in here? I don't expect you to have 5 sources. If you have 4, that's plenty. One has got to be the opposing viewpoint. You probably need a source for the opposing viewpoint, so watch out for that. I will hang on to this one and put it in your argumentation folder for this week, okay, since that's when we went on it. It's being cranky on me, sorry. The other thing I was gonna give you a heads up on is that, registration should be happening pretty quick. Is it open yet?
It's on the 12th.
It's on the 12th, so registering for next semester, okay? I'll be teaching at the exact same times if you guys wanna be in my class in the spring, so. You don't have to be in my class in the spring, I'm just telling you, but I will be, it's always the same time. And I think there may be, these guys may be 201 this time instead of 200. Okay, argumentation, all right, works cited, sample. But, so if I put it in there, when I put it in there, so if somebody uses one that is a website and they're not sure what information, and you get into Purdue OWL and you go, I can't do this, you can open up this document and copy the information as it's put in my document like that. Y'all understand what I'm saying with that? That's what we used to have to do. You would have to buy the book, and you would flip to the page that had the citation, and then you would just put in the information that you had available. Not everybody has a copyright date at the bottom of a website. If you don't have one, you can't put one. But you can put the date you accessed it, because with the internet, things change over the course of a day. Information changes. And, there's just been some weird things, sample. Okay, I'll put that in there. So, what you would have to do, remember I'll tell you what, I'll add some information to this. In fact, I'll go down the bottom and say that Crumbie is how you do a website. I'll add that down here at the bottom, okay? And so, let me come back to that. And that's all it says, the Crumbie source is how a website should look. But it just so happens that the website I went to was a magazine, was a periodical, okay? So if you go and find a website and it's just somebody's put some information out there, you look to see if there's an author. So that's one of the things to realize about MLA. The first thing you look for is if there is an author, whether it's an individual or a corporate author. And you always put the author's last name first. If you don't have an author, maybe it's a corporate one. It might be, Johnson & Johnson, you're doing something on research. So your author would be Johnson & Johnson, you'd alphabetize by the J. Here's the title of the page. It may not be an article, it just might be the page has a title that says fast fashion, okay? There's not an official publisher. You have to try to give me an author, the title of the page you're on, the title of the website, the day you accessed it, and the internet URL, the URL for it. And just put the very last thing would be the day you got it, okay? So, I may explain that a little bit more for you. Would that help, you think? Okay. But you have to know you have to know what you're looking at. The first thing you always look for is an author, and look for a publication date. And if you don't have a publication date, look for a copyright date. But those tend to be down at the bottom. If they're not at the bottom, you might have to go into, we're not going to check the paper for plagiarism. But they'll do that. Is that not interesting? You can check your paper for plagiarism in Purdue OWL. And then I don't have to have one that's got 75% on it and have to be mean and ugly, okay? So when sometimes you might not see anything down at the bottom. It helps if I put on the dadgum computer, sorry. About us, about ethical consumer. Sometimes you might have to go into one of those to find privacy policy, content usage, website. Okay, so some of those things you might have to look at, all right? So let's be done with that. Let's talk about, you've got the apostrophe quiz Friday. All right, let me go. So remember, the website to use is Grammar Bites, okay? Or Chomp Chomp, because that's what sharks do, right? They chomp on us. And, that's been one of the scary things. With drones now, they can catch these sharks. The drones fly out over the ocean, and they can see the sharks underneath the surfers and the swimmers, and you're like, oh, I may never go near the ocean again. I'm not crazy about the ocean anyway. I'm not happy with salt water, just as tastes bad, okay? So, when you first go in, this is what comes up. You see the great big shark. You don't have to scroll. You can just click on exercise, and it'll Maybe it will take you there. Buy me a coffee. That, they're asking for donations. Awesome. Well, maybe it's, there it is. So exercises at Grammar Bites. And so, apostrophes. Don't ask me why it's not in alphabetical order. I didn't create the website. But they must have talked to our guys who have the library at the bottom of academics available in the railroad tracks. So you click on apostrophes. We'll just start with interactive exercise 1. So, what we're going to do here is I'm just going to make it bigger so you can read it. And I'm just going to ask the school to say, if you want A, you know, remember how we were waving our hands? So if you want A, do this, and if you want B, do this, or A, no, just go A, and no racing will be B for the answer, okay? And then I don't have to go stand by the podium. I was describing to somebody else who's taught on ITV about how there's no sound in this room, and how I have to do that, but I can't do that with this. That's too hard. All right, so let me make this big first. So I hope you have your apostrophe pages out, so we can do this. And there are 20 exercises in this one. Just to help, you might as well practice having them out. And one of the neat things about Grammar Bites is they're part of that political correctness and inclusiveness. So they have all these names in there to show that they're just not oriented solely on white middle-class people, okay? So the first one says annoying music. So what you're supposed to do is just, if it's A, if it needs if the contains the correct apostrophe, and B is no apostrophe is necessary, okay? So it says annoying music. I'm going to make that a bit bigger. Escape from Kenya's earbuds. So A says it's correct, Kinya apostrophe S, and B says no apostrophe is necessary. So everybody who thinks it's A, raise your hands. Okay, yeah, I see one hand. There we go. Thank you, Alejandro. The girls, what are the girls doing? Are they paying attention? Okay. Everybody's saying A, so let's see if it's A. Let me click. Yeah! We didn't win any prizes, darn it. So now we'll go to the next one. The nice thing is you can always download these and do them yourself at home. Buy your own pens. You cannot borrow ours. Ours does not need an apostrophe. Ours should have an apostrophe between the R and the S. So they give you O-U-R apostrophe S, and the R should have an apostrophe after the S, O-U-R-S apostrophe. So who thinks it's A? Anybody think it's A? Okay, I see okay, the back section in Abernathy. Okay, Zach says it's right. I see one lone hand. Must be Alejandro. No, Alejandro's there. What do y'all think? Are you saying it's A or not? What do you think, Lorenzo? You have no idea. You say it's not A. Okay, not A. All right. Crosbyton, is there only one person in the classroom? Because I see one hand. That's it. Okay, there's another hand. All right, so it seems like we're kind of torn between A. And what do you think? Oh, there we go. The room is full. Hi, ladies. Did you have a good time in San Antonio? Just nod your head. Did you have a good time? All right. Okay, so, and awesome, making the finals. So, A, B, or C. What do you think, ladies in Crosbyton? A, B, or C? A, okay. Lorenzo, what are you thinking? A or B? Or C would be, okay. C, this is C, this is B, this is C, and this is A. What do you think, Lorenzo? A, B, or C? Or no idea? That's it, okay. All right, let's just say, we're going to go without the majority. Let's just say R should have an apostrophe after it, so I'm going to click that one. Oh, it's not that one. R should have an apostrophe? No. If you go to your page, it says you never use an apostrophe S to make possessive pronouns because they're already possessive. All right? That's the rule. So this is what it should be. And that's why it's, okay? Yeah. So remember that. So if you, on that apostrophe page, the one, not the one with the answers, not the one where we did the questions, but the first page, where it gives you the rules, possessive pronouns never get apostrophes. All right, let's go up to number 3. So ask Henry for help. His brain possesses all kinds of strange trivia. What do we think? I'm just going to pick on SBC. What do you guys think? It contains the correct apostrophe, or you must spell the word like this, possesses. You think it's B, Zach? What do you think, Megan? You think it's A? What do you think, JC? You're going to be the tiebreaker. His brain possesses all kinds of strange trivia.
Well, I think it's B, but it doesn't look right.
It doesn't look right. Possesses, okay. His brain possesses. Okay, I'm gonna tell you, what is, really quick, what is the word possesses in this sentence? To be possessive, you have to be a noun. So what's the subject of that sentence? Brain is the subject of the sentence. And if you possess something, that means you own it, so that is a verb. Verbs never get apostrophes. Y'all with me? So it is B. His brain possesses. The possessive word is his. And possessive words come in front of the word they possess. So possesses is the verb. You must spell the word like this. That was a tricky one, wasn't it? I don't think there's any like that on the test. Maybe I need to go back and fix that. Okay, did y'all get that? Everybody get that? Sometimes when they're asking you the question, you need to figure out what part of speech it is. Because it has to be possessive, you can't be a verb. And you know how often I see a verb with an apostrophe S on it? Pretty frequently. Because you're thinking, okay, yeah, it's got a possessed, I need to, when you're just trying to make the verb plural, or excuse me, when you put an S on it, you make it singular. So watch out for that. Let's go to number 4. The alarm clock's buzz startled Shane awake. So, clocks does not need an apostrophe, or clock should have an apostrophe between the K and the S. What do you think, Abernathy? A or B? I'm guessing you're saying B, because your arms are not up. All right, what do y'all think? Do y'all agree? A or B? Okay, so in this instance, if it's possessive, what does the clock possess? The buzz. In other words, a possessive word has to go, a word that is possessive has to go right in front of the thing it possesses. Okay? So let's see. Woo! Oh, does not need, it does need it. So that was the answer. You got it right. It was B. All right. Let's see. When the bee buzzes among the blooms, a patient mantis waits to strike. We're talking about life and death in the insect world, aren't we? What do we think? Lorenzo, what do you guys think? A or B? Buzzes does not need an apostrophe, or you must spell the word with an apostrophe, B-U-Z-Z, apostrophe S. You're saying A, and Lorenzo, Crosbyton's joining you. Abernathy, what do you think? A? Okay. Oh, yeah, at least you're getting a little bit of aerobic exercise in raising your arms. Hey, I ran 2 miles last night. Slowly. What do you guys think? A or B? A? Look, Jason's over here doing it. Okay. Buzzes does not need an apostrophe because it's the verb. That's why. All right. Oh, there was a third option. I didn't give it to you. Sorry. All right. The Larsons decided not to shutter their windows even though they were taking vacation at the height of hurricane season. They sound not very smart to me. So, the Larsons decided. So Larsons contains the correct apostrophe. Think about this, ladies, at Crosbyton. The apostrophe should come after the S, Larsons, and Larsons should not have an apostrophe. What do you think, A, B, or C? I'm seeing, okay, somebody's making their C's. Your C's are going in, they're going like this. So, okay, they're saying C. What do you think, SPC? You think it's A? Okay. And Larson should not have an apostrophe. Now remember, let's talk about this. And Abernathy, A, B, or C? I see him going to the side. Okay. So you're seeing that you're probably wrong because most people said C. Remember, it has to go, if it's a possessive word, it has to go right in front of the thing being possessed. So the word after Larson's is decided. Is decided something you can possess. It's the verb. It's the action in the sentence. So it should not be possessive. Okay? All right? So it's not just a case of, well, yeah, you've got to think if it's possessive, there has to be something. It's Mrs. Thompson's Sonic Cup, right? I can't say Mrs. Thompson bit her dog, you know, that wouldn't make sense. Mrs. Thompson's bit her dog. For one thing, Thompson doesn't end in this, so you see, you've got to think about what comes after it too. So if you need to make a note of that on your pages, the possessive word comes right before whatever it possesses, which means that has to be some kind of a noun, okay? We're up to Betty Ann, oh, I like this, could not resist petting the adorable poodle puppies. Nice alliteration in there, okay. So Betty Ann could not resist petting the adorable poodle puppies. Alliteration, the repetition of sounds at the beginning of the words, look at the P's, petting poodle puppies. So, Abernathy, puppies contains the correct, no apostrophe is needed, and puppies should have the apostrophe after the S. What do you think, Abernathy, A, B, or C? Oh, should it have an apostrophe, contains the correct one? No apostrophe is necessary. Okay, your arms are down, so I'm thinking you're voting B. Crosbyton, B, A, C? Somebody's leaving. Somebody said A. No, no, that's none, okay. And you guys, what do you think? I'd go with the high school kids. No apostrophe is necessary, because what comes after puppies? Nothing. Nothing comes after puppies. So it can't be possessive. If there's no words after it, you don't put, the house puppies, we put the, you just don't have the possessive at the end of a sentence. You have to have something after it. So it is no apostrophe is necessary. Woo! Okay. So this might be almost too easy right now, because they're giving you too many options, aren't they? Our stomachs might burst. We shouldn't have eaten so many fried cheese sticks. Okay. Shouldn't contains the correct apostrophe. The apostrophe must come between the D and the N where the space was omitted. Shouldn't. Okay, what do you think, Lorenzo? Oh, wow, Lorenzo's already jumping on A. Abernathy? Abernathy, what do you think? It's B? Oh, it's okay. Back row. It's like they're doing the wave. Have y'all noticed that? Looks like we have the wave going up. What do y'all think? Because this time we don't have a possessive word, we have a contraction. And you put it where the letter's omitted. So it has to go after the N and before the T. So it should be A. So, and don't forget, there can be contractions because it's not just that. And so there's also all those wonderful things like remember the symbols and numbers and characters, numbers, and I can't remember the third one. Get apostrophes to make them plural. Philip banged his knees on the metal bar beneath the desk. What do you think, SPC? Knees contains the correct apostrophe. Knees should have the apostrophe before the S. And there's no apostrophe in knees. What do y'all think? Okay, so when I say the word knees, you guys are stuck. What do you think? A, it contains the correct apostrophe. It comes after it. So stop and think, and I'm going to do this for everybody. Stop and think what that means. If you see K-N-E-E-S, all right, that tells you how many knees are there. There has to be more than one. And we only have two knees, okay? So it's plural. So what's the word that comes after knees? On. Can you possess something called on? No. So, there's your first clue. The word is not possessive. Okay? You with me? There's no apostrophe in these. He banged his knees on the metal bar beneath the desk. There's no, what do y'all think? Y'all got C? So you have to stop and think about what's going on in the sentence. Look at the word right after the word that should have the apostrophe that you think should have it, okay? Kimberly's agile fingers typed the password too quickly for Pedro to catch. Okay. Kimberly's contains the correct apostrophe. The apostrophe should come after the S. Okay? So they're saying that it is possessive. All right? What's being possessed? Fingers. Okay? Agile is just an adjective, It's still close enough. So now you have to figure out how many is Kimberly? One. So what is singular possessive? What do you think, huh? If you're just talking about the person, her name would be Kimberly. That's singular. So it should be Kimberly, apostrophe S. So this means it's correct. Okay? Am I confusing you or is this helping? Okay. All right. We'll do 11. Let's go to Crosbyton. We wouldn't buy one of your oatmeal raisin cookies for cash. We have seen your dirty kitchen. Sorry, I shouldn't laugh. We of is the correct contraction. At least it wasn't we of. You must spell the word like this, weave, W-E apostrophe V-E. What do you think, Crosby? A? You saying A? We have? Didn't you hear me laugh when I read it? That should have been a clue. No, it's got to be this one. You don't go A-V-E. It looks like the word weave and somebody accidentally. You're saying B now? Okay, yeah, that's good. All right. We spent more time on our science fair project than Karen, I changed the name. Karen and Denny did, but everyone is ignoring our work to view theirs instead. All right. Lorenzo. Theirs contains the correct apostrophe. Theirs should have the apostrophe after the S. Theirs should not have an apostrophe. What did you say? C. Okay, Zach says that. What do you say? You're saying C? They agree. Abernathy, C. Crosbyton. Come on, I bet you make C's all the time when you're at a football game, right? Yeah. Remember, that was the very first one. Possessive pronouns don't get apostrophes. Good job. Can you see why having that page helps? So if you've got that page on when you take the test. Where are we at time? Oh, we're at 9:38. Let's switch to a different exercise. This one's kind of repetitive. Let's see if they've got a harder one. Okay, let's go back. Exercise it. I blew it up so big it's having issues. I gotta make it small again. Okay, go to apostrophes. We'll see what exercise 2 looks like. Oh wow, this one gets harder. It gives you multiple things that can be wrong. You have to decide. Okay, this is cool. We're gonna do this one. It's a little bit different. It's not one where you get rewards, okay? It says, to avoid muddy dog prints on Mom's clean floor, we left the puppies in the backyard. Okay, so you've got three possible errors: prints, moms, and puppies. So change prints to prints, change moms to moms, and change puppies to puppies. No changes necessary. So we go back and look. So when I see the word prints, look at what's after it. Is on something that can be possessed. Okay, so that can't be it, so it's not A. Mom's clean floor. How many moms are we talking about there? One. And can you possess a clean floor? You sure can, so it's not going to be that one. So we left the puppies in the backyard. Are the puppies possessing the word in? No. So you got to change it from, somebody thought that was plural. So you got to change puppies to puppies, okay? Gets a little more difficult when you have more options to choose from. Okay, so be ready. I'm going to get one of y'all to do it now. Strands of hair whipped Jessica's face as the cold wind blew through the bare trees. Okay, so let's go with Abernathy. Strands. Change strands to strands. Are you saying, no? So now remember, strands. You're holding up one hand. I'm totally confused now. Okay, don't give me the answer yet. Strands of hair whipped Jessica's face as the cold wind blew through the trees. Strands of. Can you possess of? No. So it can't be that one. Change Jessica's to Jessica's. Jessica's? Let me see. Can Jessica own her own face? Pretty sure she can, can't she? If you don't have your own face, it's pretty. So that's okay. You can't change Jessica. Change trees to trees. The last word in the sentence is trees. If it's the last word, it can't be possessive because there's nothing for it to possess. So this is actually going to be what letter? Oh, you're holding up a big D for the notebook. Okay, got it. All right. No change necessary. Yes, woo. But so that's what you do. Now, you guys, it's just going to be true, false, if it's correct or if it's not correct. Okay, you don't have to say how to fix it. So it'll be a little bit easier. Again, I made that test 2 years ago, so I'd have to go back in and look at it right now. All right, let's go with Crosbyton, ladies. Even on the belt's last hole, the baggy jeans kept sliding off Roger's hips, making the poor boy waddle like a penguin. I was checking out somewhere, and the guy in front of me had on shorts, and I promise you, the crotch of those shorts was a good 2 feet below his butt. And I thought, are people still wearing saggy pants? Is that still the style? That was the style in the 90s. when I was teaching in high school. Okay, so, I was just like, it would feel like you're wearing a skirt, you know, if you're a guy, I would think. Okay, sorry, just a side trip there. All right, so we're going with Crosbyton, right? Is it Crosbyton? Yeah. Even on the belts last told, the baggy jeans kept sliding off Roger's hips, making the poor boy waddle like a penguin. So change belts to belts. So we're saying that belts needs to be possessive. Can the belt own a last hole? Who does the hole belong to? The belt. If the hole of the belt, you have to have holes in belts for them to work, all right? Okay, so that looks like that's gonna be the answer, that it's gotta be possessive, right, ladies? Anybody wearing a belt today? Okay. Change jeans to jeans. Jeans keep. Jeans can't possess keep, so it can't be that. Change Rogers to Rogers. Rogers owns his own hips, right? So it's gotta be, and it's not changed, so it's gotta be A. All right, woo! Okay, let's go do a few more. Yeah. Even after 4 cups of coffee, Melissa couldn't muster the energy to finish the journal assignments for Professor Koopman's class. All right, SPC, what do y'all think? Is it change cups to cups, change couldn't to couldn't, change Koopman's to Koopman's, and no changes necessary? What do you think?
B.
You're saying what?
B.
B? Change couldn't to couldn't?
No.
Why are you saying no? Give me a reason why it's not right.
In between oh wait, yeah, my bad.
Okay.
Right.
See, but by me asking you that question to prove it, you went back and looked at it again, didn't you? Do you see? So, SBC says it's B, change couldn't to couldn't. That's how I guess you should say it. And that's what it is. Okay? The other cups, remember, if you have something the case if you're not sure, try thinking, look at the words that you think should be possessive and on the test and say, okay, so can energy be possessive of 2? No, it can't. So see how that helps you out by thinking that? It can't be owned by that. That's how you do your process of elimination. 5, let's go with, Lorenzo, the lawn mowers roar. I'm sorry, I just felt like saying that this morning. Woke Stephen from a sound sleep. He cursed his neighbor's dedication to yard maintenance and dove under the blankets. So what do you think? Change mowers to mowers, change neighbors to neighbors, change blankets to blankets. No changes necessary. What do you think, Lorenzo? They're saying C, which is get rid of the apostrophe S in blankets, because blankets is the last word in the sentence, and I just told you the last word in the sentence can't be possessive, right? It has to have something to possess. So I bet they're gonna get that right. Woo! Good job. Okay. We'll do one more. The bed beckoned with its soft pillows and warm blankets, but Tommy still had 25 problems to solve for Mr. Takashima's algebra class. Okay, change its to its, change problems to problems, and change Takashima's to Takashima's, or no change. So, we're gonna sit here, and remember how I told you when you have its up there, read it. If you see IT apostrophe S, always read it out loud as it is. The bed beckoned with it is soft pillows. You would not, and because IT apostrophe S is always the contraction it is. So we think it's A? Everybody think it's A? That's what's gotta be fixed? Change its to its? What do you think? Yeah, okay, that's it. So make a note on your study, on that page, and if you get it wrong, I'm gonna tell you. That's what I was gonna talk about, was chapter 16 quiz, okay? I found it very interesting that the instruction said put one word in, and people would put multiple words in, because guess what? It counted it wrong if you put in multiple words. So I've gone back and graded all of the ones that were taken, and it said on the ones where you had to give the 3 different individuals that talked about at the radio or TV station, whichever one it was, I don't remember. I just know the answers. If you put more than one word, it would count it wrong. So I went back in and corrected all those. And then some of you are not aware of what an illustration is. An illustration is an example. You could have looked that word up while you were taking the test. What's a synonym for illustration? Well, no, but yes, an illustration can be a picture, but it has multiple definitions. So in the instance in which it was, when they're talking about an illustration, not transition, they're, whatever the term was, they're talking about an illustration, I can't even remember the word that they used, but what they were saying, the one was for example. So if you're illustrating an issue, illustrating a problem, you give an example. Okay? So, that's all for today. Remember, Abernathy, you missed a wonderful instruction over doing that rough outline draft that's due next Friday, not Wednesday. That's what I'll do. I'll go in and change that really quick. On week 12, you have that rough outline due. It is a long document, but so what I'm hoping is that you can fill it out as much as you can, and when it comes down to the details on the rough outline, if you've got a source that can support that point, just give me the name of the source, because you need to show some research on that. Let me go back in and get into it. That's that 3 pages, yeah. But there's access to a document online. You don't have to type it yourself. When you go into week 12, you're going to see argument rough outline. My recommendation is, on this rough outline, delete the lines. Before you type anything, delete the lines. You can, if you want to hand fill it in, Zach loves to handwrite his stuff, and there's not a problem with that. But when he turns it in to me, it's going to be a lot better if it's typed so I can read it more easily. So, just delete, just come in here, and all you got to do is go like this. When you're ready to transfer what you've done, what you figured out, just delete that, okay? It's that simple to do. So do it before you start typing. I was trying to do it while I was typing yesterday with the classes. So that's what's due next Friday. I'm going to go in very quickly and turn in rough outline of argumentative essay. And so if you're in town, we have class next Monday, SBC does. So if you bring your rough outlines in, I will work with you on those, and you'll get your grades in.
conference
So
is
you've got
scheduled to
an
end
extra
in
2
2
days
minutes.
that they don't have, because they're not in school the next week. So that means, guys, if, I'm just telling you, if you don't turn yours in Friday, and you think, oh, but the SBC doesn't have to turn it in until Monday, they have to come to school, you don't. If you don't have it in on Friday, it's late for you. They can bring theirs on Monday, and I'll see it then. But I will be commenting on yours over Thanksgiving break. So I'm going to move it back. Did I already change it back? Oh, I already did. Awesome. That was good. Okay, so that's it. Have a great weekend. If you're still playing football, keep it up. If you're starting basketball, kick some butt, okay? Are you going to come by and see me today? Okay, I can't stay too late. My husband has a doctor's appointment at 2.